Hi, friend. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here for this on demand workshop, Right Size Living, the simple formula for letting the space set the rules. Now, if you're a midlife woman who's ready to create a home you actually love without the stress, without the overwhelm, and without turning your living room into a month long sorting camp, you are in the right place. Today, we're cutting through all the noise of traditional decluttering advice, pulling back the curtain on how our culture quietly trains us to fill every inch of our homes and replacing it with something that finally makes sense. A practical, drama free approach built around space, not stuff. Because this isn't about letting go of things just to hit some magical minimalist number. It's about letting your space, the actual shelves, drawers, and closets you live with, set clear, simple limits for you. When the space is full, that's your cap. When something new comes in, something old goes out. Simple, logical, and freeing. And no, that doesn't mean you're keeping the entire Tupperware population of 1998 just in case. Hey, we've all been there, and honestly, those lids have never matched. Now, notice I said drama free, and that's important because let's be honest, we live in a world that thrives on more, more, more. Every ad, every influencer haul, every perfect Pinterest pantry screams you need more. But here's the truth, you don't need more. You just need what fits. Open Instagram or TikTok, and what do you see? Influencers unboxing yet another mountain of Amazon packages, all set to a catchy playlist that makes you think, maybe I do need a 12-piece acrylic organizer for my sock drawer. Well, here's the problem. Society doesn't really want us to downsize. It wants us to consume. The message is you don't need less stuff, you just need better containers to hide it in. And so the cycle keeps going until your house looks organized, but you're still drowning in stuff you don't actually use. But here's the truth, you can't organize your way out of too much stuff. Buying another bin doesn't solve the problem, it just hides it temporarily. Downsizing, on the other hand, breaks the cycle. It's not about making your clutter look prettier, it's about making it go away. And once you see that pattern for what it really is, designed to keep you stuck, you can finally step off the hamster wheel and start building a home that actually feels good to live in. Okay, that was a lot. So before we get into the fun stuff, here's what we're diving into today: why decluttering and downsizing are not the same, and how confusing the two is what's been keeping you stuck all this time. The three mindset shifts that make simplifying your home feel easy. We're talking calm, logical, and completely doable. How to use your space, not your emotions, to decide what stays. And finally, my favorite shortcut, the all new right sized living community. It's the step by step system that gives you structure, support, and a team cheering you every single week. Now, before we dive in, let me quickly introduce myself. Hi there, I'm Tracy Lynn, and for the past 8 years, I've been helping women take back control of their homes and create spaces that actually feel good to live in again. But let me be honest, I didn't start as someone who had it all figured out. I started as a woman standing in the middle of her home, completely overwhelmed, surrounded by piles of things I didn't even remember owning, and no idea where to start. I knew my home didn't match the life I was living anymore, but every time I tried to fix it, I just ended up stuck in the same cycle of sorting, shuffling, and giving up. After failing more times than I care to count, I finally realized something big. The problem wasn't me. The problem was the way we've been taught to declutter: all emotion, no structure. Touch everything, decide how it makes you feel, right? And no wonder I was exhausted before I even started. So I flipped the script. I stopped trying to declutter emotionally and started looking at my home logically. I stopped asking, what should I let go of, and started asking, what actually fits. That's when everything changed. Now I teach that same approach, a space first practical system that helps you set caps for every area in your home. It's not about counting or minimizing. It's about creating a home that fits you in your life right now, not the one you had 20 years ago. Because when your home finally fits your life, everything feels easier. Cleaning, finding things, relaxing at the end of the day, it just all works. So if you ever stood in the middle of a room and thought, where do I even start? Or if you felt guilty for keeping too much or anxious about letting go, trust me, I've been there. And I promise there's a way out that's simpler than you think. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. And once you start using your space as your guide, that overwhelm, it finally quiets down. Let's talk about why downsizing works when decluttering doesn't. Decluttering sounds simple, right? But it usually shows up with a side order of guilt. Guilt over what to keep, over what you spent, and don't even get me started on that gift from Aunt Betsy. You know, the one you secretly hated since the day you opened it. Decluttering tells you to touch every single thing, ask yourself a dozen deep questions, and somehow make perfect decisions without getting lost in the process. But what really happens? You start second guessing, spiraling, and talking yourself into keeping it all. Downsizing, now that's a different story. It's not about giving things away or even living with less. It's about figuring out what actually fits. It's about letting your space set the rules and choosing the best of the best to keep, the things that earn their spot. When you downsize, you're not tossing things out, you're curating a collection that supports the life you're living right now. You keep what you use, you release what you don't. Simple as that. No overthinking, no guilt, no emotional tug of war. Decluttering, that's all about emotions. Downsizing, that's about practicality, peace, and finally having a home that feels like you. For so many of us, midlife brings huge changes. The kids move out, our priorities shift, and suddenly we're surrounded by stuff that no longer fits who we are. Downsizing isn't saying goodbye to happiness or even memories. It's freeing up space for what you need now. I learned this the hard way not long ago when my husband and I decided to sell our family home of 26 years. We put our house on the market, expecting it to take many months to sell. Imagine our surprise when it sold in just a few days. But I didn't panic because I truly thought I was ready. I mean, after all, I had been decluttering for over 10 years, right? But as we began to pack, reality hit me. We had so much more than I realized and way more than we actually needed. Suddenly, I was staring at a lifetime of stuff that had to be drastically reduced, all with the looming deadline of a moving truck headed straight for us. And honestly, I panicked. Everything we didn't absolutely need got shoved into storage, 3 massive units worth. Just the thought of sorting it all was more than I could handle. And remember, we were out of time. So we did the only thing we could think of. We packed up the essentials and told ourselves we'd deal with the rest later. Luckily, we quickly found a temporary place to rent for the winter. And for months, all we did was hibernate. After the whirlwind of selling, packing, and panicking, we needed time to catch our breath. Now, at first, I braced myself to feel unsettled without all my things, but something unexpected happened. Life with just the essentials, it didn't feel empty. It actually felt lighter. I wasn't digging through gadgets crammed in my old kitchen drawers. I wasn't staring at a closet packed with clothes I barely wore. I wasn't even thinking about the attic full of boxes I hadn't opened in years. And that's when I started to wonder if life felt this normal, even good, without all that extra stuff, what did it really mean? And here's what hit me. Everything else could have stayed in storage forever. And honestly, I wouldn't have missed it. That realization changed everything for me because when spring rolled around and it was finally time to face all that stuff, I realized I didn't have to do it the old way anymore. I didn't have to sort through every single item, agonizing over what to let go of. That's what makes decluttering so exhausting. It's decision after decision after decision. Instead, I flipped the script. I asked myself a new question, not what should I get rid of, but what's worth keeping? What actually deserved a spot in my new, smaller home? And that shift, well, that changed everything. Suddenly, I wasn't weighed down by guilt or pressure. I was curating, not decluttering. I was building a home that fit the life I had right now, not just shuffling around piles of things from the past. And that shift made everything easier. No more emotional overwhelm with every little thing. I focused on our caps. How much space did we have and what fit into that space? The rest, well, that was excess, and the excess could go. Oh, and guess what? We actually started having fun with it. We laughed about having three wine bottle openers when we don't even like wine. We told stories about old treasures, like my husband's Wonder Dog sheets from his childhood bed. And with each filled box, we felt lighter as we dropped off another load to the donation center. It was liberating for us and even life changing for our family. Because here's another realization: downsizing, it's not just for you, it's a gift to your family too. Because one day they might have to deal with your stuff. And trust me, nobody has ever said, I'm so glad mom left me 47 coffee mugs. No matter your reason, downsizing is a gift, not just for yourself, but for your family as well. And sometimes having a reason, that's all you need. And that's all the motivation you need to get started and something to go make lasting change. All right, let's talk about some beliefs that might be holding you back. Belief number one: decluttering is emotional, exhausting, and I'll never have the energy to finish. And honestly, I totally get it. Decision fatigue is so real. You start out strong, surrounded by boxes and good intentions, and 5 minutes later, you're staring into space, wondering how your socks became such a deep emotional crisis. Here's the shift: stop focusing on what you're letting go of and start focusing on what's worth keeping. See what fits, keep the best, donate the rest. That's it. No drama required at all. Downsizing, it's about logic, not guilt. It takes the pressure off and helps you make clear, competent decisions, one shelf, one drawer at a time. Okay, let's put this into practice with something simple from the kitchen: measuring cups and spoons. I think it's safe to say most of us have a drawer stuffed with a random mix of every size and color known to man. Here's where the magic of caps comes in. Instead of counting pieces or worrying about the perfect number, you start looking at your space, the drawer where you keep your measuring cups and spoons. That space, that's your cap, your limit. Now, fill it only with what fits comfortably. Choose your favorite set of measuring cups and measuring spoons, and maybe one or two liquid measuring containers. You can add in a couple more if you love to bake. See how much fits. And when the drawer starts to feel full, that's your signal. Everything beyond that cap is extra. Remember, this isn't about perfection, it's about balance. When your space feels light and easy to use, you've hit the sweet spot. That's the beauty of downsizing with caps. Your space makes the decisions for you. No guilt, no second guessing, just simple, peaceful progress. Okay, let's talk about belief number two. If your house looks organized, I must not have a clutter problem, right? Well, okay, this belief, oh, that was me 100%. I thought as long as things were tucked behind cabinet drawers, hidden in a closet, or packed inside of 250 totes in my attic, I was fine. But that's the organized illusion. Over the years, our homes quietly fill up, duplicates pile on top of duplicates, and before we know it, we're storing things we forgot we even owned. I remember seeing a woman on TikTok proudly organizing her massive collection of Stanley cups. She bought not one, but two special racks, each holding 9 cups. And sure, the after photo, it looked gorgeous, like something out of a magazine, but let's be real. Does one person actually need 18 drink cups? That's not decluttering. That's just hiding the excess and calling it organized. Instead, it would have been better for her to downsize to an amount that made sense for her. She could have kept 2, maybe even 4 of her favorites and let the rest go. No fancy organizer needed. Money saved, space reclaimed. All right, let's move on to belief number 3. Decluttering is all about emotions. If I love it and it makes me happy, I can keep it, even if I don't have room for it. Okay, but here's the truth. We're not building a museum of things we used to love. We're creating a home that fits who we are today, right? So yes, emotions matter, but they don't get to make the rules. Your space, that does. Downsizing isn't about tossing memories or stripping away happiness. It's about being practical with the everyday stuff, the dishes, the clothes, and the gadgets you actually use. not the keepsakes or heirlooms that tell your story. Think of it this way. You're not saying, I don't love this. You're saying, I don't have room for this. That's the beauty of using caps. When the space is full, you've hit your limit. You keep what fits and let the rest go guilt free. Because peace doesn't come with what you keep, it comes from the space you create. Instead of asking, does this make me happy? Ask, does this actually fit in the space I have right now? Does this actually work for the life I'm living today? That one question changes everything, because when you start letting your space lead the decision making, the guilt and confusion fade away. You stop wondering how you feel about every little thing and start seeing what realistically fits. Maybe that means 2 shelves of mugs instead of 5, or 1 closet of clothes that make you feel happy and good today, not 10 bins of what used to. When you use space as your guide, clarity shows up fast. Peace follows, and your home finally supports the life you're living now, not the one you left behind. Okay, here's a truth bomb. Joy isn't in the stuff, it's in the space you make for what truly matters. So let's get real. Nostalgia, yeah, that's sneaky. One second you're reaching for an old sweater, and the next you're standing in your closet reliving a family trip from 15 years ago, complete with the smell of hotel shampoo and the memory of your kids arguing in the back seat. And hey, memories are a gift, but here's the thing. They can also be the biggest reason we stay stuck in homes that feel too full. Here's the tricky thing about nostalgia. It doesn't just make you remember the past, it convinces you to keep holding on to it. Before you know it, every shelf and bin is filled with things that represent beautiful moments, but no longer fit the life you're living today. Now, I'm not saying you have to toss the memories. You absolutely don't. What I am saying is this: the memory lives in your heart, not in the Wonder Dog sheets from your husband's childhood bedroom. Yes, those can go. Okay, the sheets, not your husband. Instead of keeping the entire object, keep the story. Take a photo, frame a favorite snapshot, or save one small reminder that fits inside your space. That way, the memory stays and the clutter doesn't, because your home should hold your life, not your entire past. When you shift your thinking just a little, it changes everything. Instead of asking, does this make me happy? Try asking, do I need this for the life I have right now? It's amazing how that one question cuts through the noise. You can still keep the photo, the story, even the smile without keeping every single object attached to it. And here's another mic drop. You're not losing anything by letting go. You're simply making space for the next chapter of your life to move in. In that chapter, it's going to be so much lighter, freer, and easier to live in. So here's where we've landed. Downsizing works because it cuts out the guilt and the drama and the mental tug of war. We've traded in, does this make me happy, for does this fit the life I have now? We've stopped hiding the excess behind pretty bins, and we've learned that memories live in us, not in the stuff collecting dust. Our caps make the decisions, the logic keeps us moving, and the result is a home that is right-sized for who you are today. Now, I don't want this to just be something you nod along to and think, yes, I should do that someday. I want you to see how simple and doable it actually is right now. So let's roll up our sleeves and try it together. One small, totally manageable space in your home, your coat closet. So why the coat closet? Because it's the perfect starter space, small enough to finish in under an hour, but sneaky enough to hide a decade's worth of just-in-case items. Old coats, random scarves, single gloves with no partner, and the occasional mystery object you forgot existed. It's all hiding in there. Trust me, this little space can pack a punch. Okay, so for step number 1, clear it all out. And I mean everything. Every coat, every glove, every random thing stuffed way in the back. Here's why. If you leave items in the space, your brain will skim right past them and say, oh, that's fine, I'll keep it. Nope. We want a full reveal. Pile it all up where you can see it. Yes, it's going to look messy for a minute, but that's exactly what makes the process work. Step number 2, group into categories. This is where order starts coming back. Put coats in a pile with coats, hats with hats, gloves with gloves, scarves with scarves, and then, of course, the famous miscellaneous pile for anything that doesn't fit. like the random dog leash you're convinced appeared out of thin air. Grouping things is what makes the next step so much easier. This is where we ditch the drama and let your space do the work. So here's how it looks in real life. Start with your coats and outerwear. Outerwear. See how much space you actually have to hang them. Be sure to leave room for guests and a few empty hangers as well. Now, decide what truly fits in that space. When you have your cap, pick your favorites, the ones you reach for most often, and let those earn their spot. Whatever doesn't fit, that's your sign it's extra. Donate it, or you can store it away if it's something seasonal or for a special occasion. Then move on to scarves and gloves. You've got room. If you've got room for a bin in your closet, that's perfect. That bin becomes your cap. Fill it with the ones you love and actually wear. When it's full, you're done. Keep working through each category the same way, one cap or container at a time. See how simple this is? You're not forcing yourself to let go. You're letting the space make the call. No guilt, no second guessing, just practicality, peace, and a closet that finally breathes again. Now, let's talk about those famous just in case items, the ones taking up space, even though you haven't touched them in forever. This is where you really get your space back. Here's what I mean. If you're no longer commuting to a full-time career job, you probably don't need a lineup of extra dress coats. And if the last time you hit the ski slopes was the 90s, well, that bulky ski jacket has officially retired too. Have a real heart-to-heart with your things so you only keep what fits your life today. All right, now it's time to get that excess out of your house. Don't let it linger. Bag up your donations, put them straight into your car so the next time you're out, they're gone. Trash or recycling, handle it right away. Because here's the truth. Momentum disappears the second a donation pile camps out in your hallway for 3 weeks. Out of sight, out of house, that's the goal. This is where you see the magic happen. Hang everything neatly so when you open that closet, it feels light, calm, and easy, not stuffed or stressful, shouting for attention. And here's the fun part. Because you're keeping fewer coats and items in your closet, you can finally treat them better. Invest in good quality hangers that match and are made specifically for heavy coats. Now, when you're all done, step back for a second and take it in. That's your new normal, a space that feels calm, lighter, and right-sized for you. Your closet won't just look organized. It'll feel peaceful every single time you open it. And just like that, you've downsized a whole space without drowning in emotions or second guessing. The math made the decisions, the logic kept you moving, and now you have a quick win you can build on. And here's the best part. Once you see how fast and painless this is, you'll start spotting other coat closet moments all over your home. The mug cabinet, the linen closet, even the garage shelves. Same method, same freedom. Now that you've seen how simple downsizing can be when you let your space set the rules, you might be thinking, okay, Tracy, this is actually doable, but how do I keep this going? Because knowing what to do is one thing, having the structure, motivation, and the support to keep you going, that's the real game changer. Okay, here we go. I am so excited to announce that coming soon, we will be opening the doors for the very first time to our brand new community, the place where downsizing finally sticks. No guilt, no overwhelm, just progress that actually lasts. Introducing the Right Size Living Community, a one-of-a-kind space that will be your practical, guilt-free system to create a home that fits your life right now, not the one you had 10 years ago. Inside, you'll find no marathon cleaning weekends, no I'll deal with this someday piles, no emotional hangovers, just simple, steady wins like weekly action plans that fit into your real life, not a fantasy schedule. Monday pep talks that keep you motivated when things feel stuck. Unique approaches to storing your things and so much more. Here's the scoop. Doors officially open on December 27th. And if you're on the wait list, you'll be the first to know when they do. Being on the list is totally free. And trust me, you'll want to be there because waitlisters, they get all the perks. First, you'll hear when doors officially open. You'll unlock exclusive early bird bonuses only for our insiders. You'll get VIP access to our week-long celebration week, and complete with giveaways, surprise trainings, and even a chance to win a full year scholarship inside the community. All right, here's what you do next. Head to declutterinminutes.com/wait, WAIT. That's where you'll find the sign up page. Click any of the links to bring up the sign up form. Plop in your name and email, and in a few minutes, you'll get a confirmation email sent to your inbox. Be sure you watch for that because you'll need to confirm by clicking the link inside that email, and that will put you on our list. After that, you'll get a welcome email straight from me so you know you're officially in. And if anything goes sideways, just reach out to us at contact@tracylynnmedia.com. My team will take care of you because this isn't just about organizing your house. It's about creating a home that feels calm, comfortable, and completely you. A space that finally fits your life today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you're walking away with a few aha moments, a little spark to get started, and all the motivation you need to create a home that fits you today. Remember, you don't need a weekend or a storage unit full of bins. You just need one box, one step, and a little space logic. Remember, I'm Tracy Lynn. I can't wait to see you inside the Right Size Living community when doors officially open on December 27th. That's when we turn those light bulb moments into lasting change. One room, one win, one home that finally fits.